I made my dad choose between me and his new family. My father, 52, and I, 25-year-old female, along with my 3-year-old Cocker Spaniel dog, Moxie, live in my mom's ancestral house that I inherited along with other assets when she died when I was 16 due to cancer. My father got married to his high school sweetheart a few months ago while he was on a trip with his friends. Apparently, they've been in contact for almost 2 years now. I was shocked, but it is life, and if he's happy, then I am okay with it. They moved in a week after the small wedding that I wasn't even invited to since I had no idea that they were even dating or that he was dating. She, my dad's wife, whom we'll call Steph, 51, came with baggage. I mean twin stepsisters, 20F, let's call them Lizzie and Lexi, and their 2 chihuahuas, Gucci and Hermes. They go to the state college nearby and thought that it would save them money if they live here instead of paying rent, etc. My dad asked if it was okay, and he also stated that the house is big enough for us. We have 7 bedrooms, 8.5 baths, a basement, and a huge yard with a pool. To make my dad happy, I said yes, big mistake. The first issue was the argument about me moving to a smaller room since my room has the second biggest closest out of all the rooms in the house. She needed it to store all her luxury bags and clothes, etc. I said no. I told her it's been my room since I can remember and she's not making me move when it's my house. My dad compromised with her that he'll give his side of the closet to her while his things are in the other room. The second issue, the twins have this habit of barging into people's rooms without knocking, and that includes my office since I'm currently working from home due to COVID. Lexi walked in one time wearing a bikini looking for something while I was in the middle of a business meeting. She literally walked behind me where everyone could see her. I was pissed off and embarrassed. Third, their dogs are not potty trained and would leave poops and pee around the house, and the twins wouldn't even clean up after them. They're also very aggressive towards Moxie. I found Moxie one time with a scratch on her left eye, which the other 2 dogs would usually nip at when they get the chance. Fourth, all the family photos in the house were removed and put in the attic without my approval. That includes my grandparents, my great-grandparents, my mother's family photo, my baby pictures, etc. I took my time to put them all back where they belonged. This happened a few times. 2 days ago, Steph did it again, but this time she replaced them with her pictures, the twins, her family, etc. Steph and I had a heated argument about it. I told her that she can't do anything regarding the decorations, etc. in my house without my approval, and that her daughters should also learn how to knock on doors and have their dogs potty trained. She said that they can whatever they want in her house and that she will be making up house rules that we will all follow since she thinks I'm such a wild animal doing whatever I want, and that I was not raised properly due to having a bad, useless mother. I was livid, that's an understatement. I told her that she can pack her things along with her twins because I am kicking her out. She said that I have no right to kick them out of her house. I told her, and I quote, "Lady, you are living under my roof. This is my house. I inherited it from my mother, and right now you, your twins, and your dogs are trespassing. Get out before I call the cops." My dad got home early that day after Steph told him what happened. I told him my side of the story. He said that they're still getting used to the house and the move here was difficult for them. I told him about all the issues surrounding them, but he kept insisting that it was going to get better and that to just give them some time. I told him that I'd put up with all their shit and I'd had enough. Enough is enough. He was defending them more, taking their side. So, I told him that he can either move out with them or stay and that he has until the end of the week. Did I do the right thing here, making my dad choose between me and his new family? I literally gave them a chance, and I've put up with so much of their shit for the past few months. What she said about my mother was my breaking point. There's no way that she will disrespect her in the house where she grew up in, where I grew up in. Update 1. Here's the update. I spoke with my mother's previous lawyer, Amy, about the issue on Saturday and asked if there's a way to contest the will. She showed me the documents, and Maya and I both signed an agreement that we agree on what was left to us and that we will not be contesting it in the future. Mom for the win. She also advised to give them at least 30 days to find a place and move out to avoid any legal troubles, etc. So, inheritance issue is solved. Saturday night, I was supposed to have dinner with just my dad. Apparently, a private discussion between father and daughter is a whole family affair. Steph and the twins were there. To make it quick and to end the misery, I stated that I spoke with Amy regarding the house and other legal issues. I also added that they have 30 days to find a place and move out. Steph tried to object, but Dad shut her down by saying that we can fix the issue and that we can all go to family therapy, and that we just need time to get to know each other. Cue my eyes rolling. I informed him that it's been months since they moved in and not once did they try to be family unless they need something. I put my foot down. Enough is enough. So, I asked him if he's going with them or staying so I'll know which items he'll be taking. He asked if I'm kicking him out, which I told him I'm not. that he's free to choose to wherever he goes, but I told him that he should not expect me to keep in contact with him if he decides to leave. Steph asked why I'm kicking him out of his house. I told her that I inherited my house from my mother. She said that he told her that I live him. I guess she thought that I live with my dad in his house. Big misunderstanding on their part. Lexi argued that it's going to be hard to move since they're finishing up spring semester and that finals are in a couple of weeks. I just smiled and said to better hurry and find a place. I left after that. Yesterday, Easter Sunday, I invited my boyfriend and his family and my two best friends over to celebrate Easter Sunday. My dad has been calling me and I didn't bother answering the call. He tried to invite me to spend the day with them. As far as I'm concerned, the only family I have right now are my two best friends, my boyfriend and his family. It was a good Sunday. We did some egg hunting and a few games and had a big dinner, which I haven't had in a long time. I felt right. Anyway, right now I'm finishing up on documenting everything that's worth over $500 in the house. I had a few people over to help document them. All locks have been changed. I only gave a copy to my boyfriend. I also hired professionals to install a security system around the house and property. And I am scheduled to meet with someone regarding the fences and gate. I have not tapped into the fund that my mom left since I started college to help with tuition, dorm, and other expenses, but this is an emergency and it calls for it. All the family pictures, portraits, etc. are currently in a storage. All other valuables that are small are in a safety deposit box. All documents are in a water and fireproof safe that requires a key and pin to open, currently in my room. I'm trying to take all the precautions and advice that you guys wrote on the comment section in my previous post. Thank you for those. So, that's about it for now. Not really sure why Dad is choosing to be with them than me. His own flesh and blood. I'll update this if there's any news or something stupid happens, but I've come to accept that for some unknown or unexplainable reason, they're more important to him than me. It's hard, since he's the only family I have left here, and I'm really not that close with his side of the family. So, once they move out, I am cutting contact with them. He's a grown man and he can decide whatever the fuck he wants to do with his life. Thanks for all the support and well wishes. Update 2. My email has been blowing up regarding this and a lot of people were asking how I'm doing, what happened to my dad, etc. So, here's the final update. One of my high school friends is a real estate agent and I had her help find them a house nearby, about 15 minutes away after thinking through my decisions. I helped with the down payment just to get them started, just so that they don't feel like I didn't help them, etc. Regarding my dad, we had a long discussion about the issue. He moved in with them, but we decided that we would have dinner every Sunday night, just us two, and celebrate any special occasions together. I did remind him that I can't have him or any of his new family in the house after his wife disrespected my mom. I don't know much about their history and I really don't want to find out. But as far as I know and as far as I can remember, my mother was nothing but kind to everyone. She raised me to be that way, but I guess she'll be disappointed in me after kicking them out. Oh well. He changed his will and added them in. But I advised him not to tell them. Been watching too many crime stories for months and I'm just looking out for him. He did say he was proud of my decisions and that I've grown up well and strong and that my mom would be proud of me and what I have accomplished in life so far. After that whole ordeal and after making sure that the house is secure, etc., I went on a vacation with my BF, well now fiance, to unwind and relax. The whole issue took a toll on my mental health and it was a struggle getting back to, I guess, being normal, being my usual self. Also, no wedding bells anytime soon. He's focused on his intern year up in NY pursuing his career in medicine, wants to be a pediatrician. For all those wondering, he did sign a prenup. He was more than willing to sign it. Also, my mom's side of the family had a big military, finance background, lots of investments, and such. I could have followed in their footsteps and joined the military, but my hand-eye coordination is abysmal, so that's why I work in finance. I try to not depend on my family's money and learn how to make my own money through investments. Stocks, etc. I did take out a little bit to do some remodeling in and around the house. Gotta keep it well maintained if I want to pass it down. I think that's about it. My dad and I aren't exactly back to our old relationship. I don't think we'll ever get back to it, but we're civil about the situation. I've seen Steph and her daughters around town a few times, but I don't acknowledge them. Why would I when they took my dad from me? So, how do I close my previous thread? I'm not much of a Redditor. Thank you all for your support and well wishes. It's been hard these past few months, but I am managing. Happy holidays and stay safe and healthy. Update 3. So, just a quick update. I've read the comments and thank you for your support. I really do appreciate it. It does make it seem like I'm a pushover. Well, maybe I am. I just don't like confrontation, arguing, or anything that ends up fighting with someone. I'm just not that type of person. I will be changing the locks around the house as some of you suggested. Unfortunately, the gate in the property is old and rusted and it's been open for who knows how long, so I can't really do much about it right now. Anyway, I called the same lawyer that handled my mom's will to review if there's any loophole or any chance that my dad can contest it. I will be seeing her in a couple of hours. Regarding my dad, he's a good man and he's worked hard to provide for me and my needs when my mom died. He's never asked me to tap on my money to help with the living expenses, etc. He makes a decent amount of money as an engineer, like 6 figures, so I don't think he's after my money. I could be wrong though. I just think that he's blinded that someone still finds him attractive at his age. Also didn't help how it was his high school sweetheart. I've also talked to him about his impromptu wedding and how he kept things from me. He just said that he didn't know how I was going to react if I knew that he was dating the ex-GF before he met and married my mom. I was pissed off, but I got over it since he seemed happy having her around. I don't know what their whole history is or if there's a bad blood between her and my mom to make her lash out like that and disrespect her. Steph and her evil spawns are staying somewhere in town. No idea where, and I don't care or want to find out. They have the money to take care of themselves, and if they run out, they always have their luxury bags to sell. Honestly, who needs so much bag that they require a whole closet just to store them? If anyone's wondering where my relatives are, well, my mom was an only child and grandparents left her everything. When my mom died, I got most of what she inherited. She left some to my dad as well. My grandparents on my dad's side lives about 6 hours away with my uncles and aunts. It's literally just me and my dad here, and Moxie. Moxie is doing well. She's happier and seemed to enjoy the quietness around the house. I will update as soon as I can. But thank you for all the support. Now let's see what the community has to say. Opinion number 1 says, "Girl, you did what you had to do and I would 100% do the exact same thing. Your father, on the other hand, need to grow some spine. It seems like she got him wrapped around her fingers. I doubt it was even his idea to get married without inviting you. If he ends up choosing them, just cut them out. Go no contact. You don't need that kind of toxicity in your life. Also, make sure that he can't contest your inheritance regarding the house just so they can stay there. You know people these days. I hope it turns up in your favor." Opinion number 2 says, "The audacity of this woman. Her house, then has the nerve to talk shit about your mother. I would have packed her shit and thrown it out the door. Opus, please have all of the locks changed and get a security gate. Do not give any of them a new key, even your dad. I get the feeling that your dad will go with his new wife. You have been more than kind to them all. Did your dad have anything to say about his new wife's comment about your mother being bad and useless? I'm proud of you for standing your ground and kicking these worthless shitty women out." Opinion number 3 says, "Yes, you absolutely and without doubt did the right thing. Your father is the one in the wrong here, imposing these strangers on you, and now he'll have to live with the consequences. So glad the house is legally yours. If it was your dad's, I could have seen a Cinderella-type situation within a few more months. Change the locks once they've left." How about you guys? What do you guys think about this whole situation, and what would your advice be for OP? Let's all discuss in the comments section below. I just learned that my sister had an abortion to be able to donate me part of her liver so I can live. It caused her divorce and I can't stop hating myself. What really happened, I was very sick 4 years ago and was in need of a liver transplant. My situation was that it was very unlikely that I would get one in time. At that time, my sister was pregnant. I didn't know as it was early, like less than 2 months. My situation was getting worse and my sister decided to do an abortion, and then 2 months later we did the transplant surgery. I never knew about the pregnancy. All I knew was that she gave me half of her liver. My sister and her husband divorced a year later. I didn't know the truth until yesterday when my mom slipped up about an abortion that my sister had. I asked her about it and she told me everything. She told me that my sister made her promise not to tell me and she failed that promise. My sister was very happy. My brother-in-law was a very decent guy. I knew they were looking forward to having children. They were great together. She always told us about how lucky she is to have found him. Apparently, at the time of their decision, my sister and her husband had a great disagreement. He didn't want her to have the abortion and risk the transplant surgery and was hopeful that my situation might sort itself out without my sister's help. The chance was very small, but it was there. My sister didn't agree. They couldn't convince one another, and my sister did things anyway without his blessing. They tried working things out after the surgery, they went to counseling, and they even tried to have another baby, but they couldn't get themselves to do it. He couldn't forgive my sister, and she wasn't all that apologetic, so they ended up separating and eventually divorcing. My sister isn't happy now. Hasn't been since the surgery. She never told me the real reason for her divorce. She told me that they were after different things. I just learned things from my mom. I asked my mom if my sister still thinks that she did the right thing. She said she's not sure. I can't stop feeling guilty. My sister saved my life but destroyed her own life doing it. She had to abort the baby she definitely loved and looked forward to, and did that knowing that it will probably end her marriage as well. I was ready to go at that time. I had accepted my fate and I was at peace. She should have just let me. Shit. My brother-in-law should have told me, so I would have talked her out of it. I'm surprised he didn't. I can't feel anything but hate myself. I don't know what to do. Should I talk to my sister? What should I tell her? Should I keep my mouth shut and pretend that I don't know? I'm not sure if I'll even be able to look into her eyes and not show that I know. I just don't know what the fuck I should do. Please help me. Now let's see what the community has to say. Opinion number 1 says, in case you want counseling, you can contact the hospital that did the surgery and they'll be able to help. They have counselors who are experienced with issues around transplants from living donors. But regarding your sister, yes, you should tell her. It's a burden on you and on her. Just go and talk to her. Tell her how you feel, she'll tell you how she feels, and it will bring you both closer together. It's a very difficult situation where nobody is at fault, and it's very unfortunate that her marriage ended that way. But you both can heal together. Opinion number 2 says, I think I ought to expand upon why you ought to speak with your sister, OP. What benefit does your sister derive from hiding this? She had her reasons to avoid telling you. She wouldn't have wanted you to dissuade her. She wouldn't have wanted to add to your stress by revealing the magnitude of what she gave up. She might still want to protect you from feeling guilt over her sacrifice. All these points are moot now. You know what has happened, and you know the burden that your sister carries. I think it's time to relieve her of that burden. Telling her lets her know your state of mind, opens discussion into understanding how she feels, and allows you to step forward together into the future. It's unfortunate that this stress may have led to your sister's divorce. Their incompatibility is over a decision to which there is no right answer. Opening this conversation with your sister is bound to be difficult. She carries the responsibility of making her decision, and you carry guilt over the circumstances that put her in the position to make that decision. To you, I'd say that you ought to put aside your feelings of guilt. You were placed in a difficult situation, and you accepted her gift without knowing the details behind it. You knew nothing about the loss of a pregnancy or the strain on her marriage. I think your personal feelings of guilt are better transferred into sorrow and sympathy over her loss. Opinion number 3 says, your sister did the right thing, and you should be proud of her and feel so lucky to have a sister like her. Put yourself in her shoes. You have a sister who is dying, with very little chance of surviving if she doesn't get the liver she needs. You just got pregnant, hooray. But you're the only person who can save your sister's life, and it will cost you the pregnancy. Damn, but you can get pregnant again. 75% of pregnancies end in miscarriages, most of the time without the mother even knowing, and few of those women are rendered infertile by it. So you know that, while it's sad, you can always try again for another baby. But if you let your sister die, you'll never have another sister again. Easy decision, right? Except you've got a husband, and he's actually telling you that you should roll the dice. Almost certainly watch your own sister die in a hospital just because he wants this particular fetus, who is not a person, to take priority over your living, breathing sister, even though there's nothing preventing him from making another, even though losing a child in early pregnancy is common as it is. So you've got this man who is basically telling you to kill your own sister or he'll leave you. You know what? F that guy. In her shoes, would you ever pick a man like that over your own sister? If you had let your sister die when you could have saved her, would you ever be able to forgive yourself? She did the right thing for you and for herself. If it was me, I would tell her that I know, without throwing mom under the bus too much, and I would thank her for giving me my life. She's been keeping this from you the whole time because she doesn't want you to feel guilty, and the consequence for her is that she hasn't been able to talk to you about any of it. Thank her. Let her cry on your shoulder. Let her know that you truly owe her your life, and that you are the luckiest sister on the planet. Mourn the pregnancy, mourn the marriage, don't talk bad about the ex. But know in your heart of hearts that that man wasn't good for her, and that he could never have raised children who would be so closely bonded as you and your sister are. How about you guys? What do you think? Leave a comment and let's discuss down below. If you enjoyed it, maybe subscribe and leave a like. It will help my channel a lot and motivate me to make more for you. Thanks for listening and take care.